Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Disney Classics podcast. And this is a show where we like to talk about the Disney canon and sometimes the Disney canon songs and beyond. Very fun. And we had so much fun ranking all of the Lion King songs that we thought it would be fun to try some of the other franchises, I guess, and rank their songs. And today we are doing The Little Mermaid. So one of my favorites. It's gonna be fun. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner. Stanford's here.
Hey Rach, how's it going?
Yeah, doing good. How are you?
And well, I'm so stoked to talk about The Little Mermaid, and I know it's one of your
Yeah.
favorites, so that makes it extra
Yes.
fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to go back. I mean, this I would say that this as a franchise is definitely a little more spotty than Lion King as far as this
Yeah,
the but it's still it's going to be fun to see where we rank because even the worst of them they still have Jodie Benson for most of
I
the singing,
know.
so
There's the Jodie Benson
it's got
factor, which she's so good.
yes.
I think we both have great admiration for Jodie. So yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, yeah.
I have done very few photo ops because I just think I don't know, I don't love the whole process, and I don't know, I just think it's weird. But I have done it a few times, and Jodie Benson is one of them that I paid at the at FanX to have a picture with Jodie. I love her so much.
Outstanding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Uh,
I have my picture taken with Jodie Benson, and I have my picture taken with Carrie Fisher. So the two queens. Let's be real.
that is so cool, Rach.
Yeah,
Totally worth
yeah.
it.
Yes. So what we're including in this, of course, we have the original film,
Yes,
and
the 1989 animated film that's one
yes,
of the finest ever.
yes, and then we have the Little Mermaid 2: Return to the Sea,
Which is the
which
complete opposite.
which is the complete opposite. Well, I mean, it's funny you say that because it's also exactly the same.
Well,
They
that's,
it's like
yeah, that's
it's
true.
the laziest version of these cheap goals is
Oh,
Little Mermaid 2. It's literally just the exact same story. They even have Ursula's sister
yeah, the same
as
story
the
beats. Oh,
yeah, it is one of the worst. There are very few redeeming
yeah.
factors of a Little Mermaid 2: Return to the Sea. Um, and then they had Ariel's beginning the prequel. And I don't know if I'm just nicer because Little Mermaid 2 is so bad, but I actually think this one is like fine, like watchable. It's not great, but I think Ariel's beginning, like the animation is pretty good. I think the music is pretty good. And just like on a Footloose in the ocean, it's watchable. In my opinion, I think it's a way better than Little Mermaid 2.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's that. Way to go. uh, um, but but yeah, and it was actually Ariel's beginning, which is kind of interesting, was the last one, the
the,
last cheap goal.
the last cheap goal.
Yeah, that was the end.
Gosh.
2008.
Yeah. Wow. You know, I'm still recovering from the Rachel Zegler Snow White, that piece of how mad movie that made me. And
Yes.
we're being seeing this or listening to this music. Thankfully, I didn't watch the films again, but it just reminded me too of how much I hate the cheap sequels and that Disney
Yes.
also has just not been virtuous all the time for lots of years.
Yes.
So yeah, they made a lot of crap, some
Yeah,
good stuff and a lot of crap.
they unfortunately sometimes are, it's not show friends, it's show business. they
Yeah,
they lean
that
into that sometimes.
absolutely. And again, I'm not the target audience. Maybe little kids like some of that, but holy
Yeah,
cow, those movies are terrible.
but I at least I do think that Ariel's beginning is watchable. It's, in my opinion, not trash, but it's not like great. I'd probably give it like a 2.5
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
5. I mean, I'd give uh I'd give Little Mermaid 2, I would give it like Zero. I mean, it is terrible. It's one of the
Yeah.
worst. I mean, the Hunchback 2 is the worst. It is,
Yeah.
even though I'm not like the biggest fan of the original, at least it has some integrity to it. Like it's
Right.
a bold piece of storytelling. You can watch it and be like, this is interesting. They really tried something. They swung, whatever. And then you watch Hunchback 2, and it's just like, this is so embarrassing
This is so
for all
horrible.
involved.
It just
All
can't even,
involved.
you can't
Yeah.
even, yeah, fathom it.
And then of course we have the live action remake that they did of Little Mermaid, which we both like pretty good,
Yeah. Yeah.
better than expected. It definitely has its flaws, uh, but it was. I thought that their chemistry was so good, and that they really should have sold the movie as basically a romantic comedy. Like they were so good together, and the fact that they were both Eric and Ariel were both collectors, and they were both kind of quirky, I thought, in the same ways, and they just had such good chemistry that that was the big surprise of it to me.
Me too. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it because I went in there expecting
Oh yeah.
to loathe it. And but yeah, I mean, and I'm with you. It's the chemistry that sold it. Solid direction, I think, overall
Yeah.
from Rob Marshall. I think that, I still am not sure I can forgive them for the way they animated Flounder and Sebastian.
Oh yeah, that was
They look
horrible.
so horrible, but
Yeah, weird.
still, uh,
Oh, they
yeah.
were like, the ironic thing is that most of the stuff that I thought would be bad was still bad. And yet their chemistry was so good. And that it probably just goes down to my rom-com roots. That's what I love.
Yeah.
So if you get that right, that goes a long way. And her singing was so good.
I was so impressed with her too. Halle
Yeah.
Bailey was just lovely and did such a fine job. Yeah.
So then we have the Broadway musical.
Yes.
And I am like, and you said you've seen it one time.
I've seen it one time I saw it at Health Center. I saw it actually, it was like in West, it was their West Valley one before they moved to Sandy. So it's been a while. But one of my
Oh, okay.
the wife of one of my buddies is was in it. She played Ariel
Oh,
on one of the casts. And
because they just did it not too long. I think 2023. I think they did it at
oh,
Hale
did they?
in
Okay.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I missed it, but
I saw it, and again, it was probably at least 10 years ago. I don't
yeah,
remember when, but prior to the move.
because
Um,
I'm envious of you. I've seen it in just the last few years. I've seen it 5 times, and I
oh
hate it.
wow.
I hate this musical.
I do. I was so, my friend's wife was lovely. She played Ariel and she did a great job, but wow, I hated the show. I think the book
Oh,
is horrible.
yeah, it
And
really is. Like, it's so dumb. Why did they make Flounder in love with Ariel? That makes no sense. And
it's so
and
stupid. And
why
the
do they have
contest.
they have to make Ursula uh Triton's sister, and I mean, just
Uh,
all the new songs are pretty forgettable. There's a couple decent ones, but it just I just really don't like it. I mean, I like all of this stuff from the original movie is fun, but like just feels bloated, and I just
it was a real
really
miss, in my
real
opinion.
miss. I agree.
And it's so interesting because, again, as we'll find out as we're going through these songs, I mean, Alan Menken, even when he's not great, is still so much better than some of
Yeah.
these other songwriters, that they use for the cheap quills. But still, just really, and the original Broadway cast, because that's, I've been listening to that Broadway cast recording. Terrific.
Yeah.
I think they had just A-list Broadway stars, or singers, I think, in that original cast, but horrible. And then I
And
remember too that, like, and I don't know what it was with the productions that you've seen, Rach. I can't remember what they did, but I think that they were all like on wheelies, right? On
yeah, which
that,
is like a fun that's fun.
was that okay? Because again, I don't remember what they did at Hale, if they were on wheelies or
Yeah.
how they moved, how the mer people moved around on
Pretty much
stage.
every time I've seen it, they've been on wheelies.
Okay.
Are you a fan of Rachel's Reviews? Do you look forward to Family Movie Night, Female Film Critics panels, or the Talking Disney podcast? If so, please consider supporting the podcast by becoming a Patreon. As a patron, you get to access monthly events such as the watch-alongs and Q&As, where you get to talk to stars and find out the behind the scenes of the movie making industry. And you can pick what I review for Family Movie Night or even become a guest on the podcast. Podcasts and YouTube channels are expensive, and I really, really could use your help. I would so appreciate it. You also get to be a member of the Facebook group where we talk about all the films that we're seeing, and we have so much fun. Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies and select one of the Rachel's fan tiers. That's patreon.com/hallmarkies.
The most memorable version of the Little Mermaid musical that I've seen was actually at Bluffdale Arts Council in Bluffdale.
Okay.
They're doing some real cool stuff over there in Bluffdale. And one of the things that their philosophy is no cuts. We will not cut anybody. Anyone who wants to participate can participate. And they really mean it when they say it, because this The Little Mermaid that they did had over 200 people in the cast.
Whoa.
It was unbelievable to be a part of, because pretty much any song they worked, it was almost all, it was like 80% little kids, which is adorable. And so like pretty much every song had like all of these little kids dressed up as like, so like Positivity had like all these little kids dressed up as seagulls, and then there was like little kids dressed up as turtles, and then as fish, and it was so cute. And it was just like
adorable.
Yeah, you felt like that it was like a whole sort of community spirit to be a part of, and so
absolutely,
that was
wow,
very, very memorable, very, very, very memorable that they did that. And it was just like sometimes the little kids in adorable outfits just kept coming.
So maybe that helped lessen
Yes.
the downer book.
Yeah, I think it's a very weak book, and it's totally reliant on the original songs. And I'm sorry, but Glenn Slater, he ain't no Howard Ashman.
No, that's exactly too. That was another really noticeable difference. I think if Howard Ashman had still been alive and they did a Broadway version of it, it would have been a much different and probably a far superior show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna rank. So we ended up with 28 or 29 songs.
29. Yeah.
29 songs. And like we said, it includes the remake, the original, the prequel and sequel, and the Broadway. So and as we did with the Lion King, we didn't include like reprises, or in the prequel, there's a couple like quote unquote songs, but they're really more just like, they're more like just songs. They're more like interstitials kind of in between, like with Sebastian. And then also Little Mermaid 2 on the album, it has like 4 or 5 songs that are like Sebastian's songs, but they're not actually in the movie. And originally I had them on this list, and then I actually watched that movie again. You can all send me your condolences. I watched it again, and I'm like, that song's not in there. That one's not in there. That wasn't in there. And so I think what they did, for the team. I think what they did is they wanted to be able to sell this album, and so they just included it was kind of like Pride of the music of the Pride Lands. It was kind of like that.
Yes,
like Sebastian songs,
Yes.
But they're not actually in the actual movie, because there's only let's see how many. Little Mermaid 2 has 4 songs.
That
we're including. So and most of the other ones on that soundtrack are additional bonus songs.
Interesting. I vaguely remember that album.
Yeah. So anyway, we ended up with 29. So we'd love, of course, to hear what you think of this and how you would rank them. And I'm curious, what's your number 29?
So it's the Scuttlebutt.
Yeah, same.
You know, Aquafina absolutely sinks that song. Not that it would have been really great with anybody, but wowza. Horrible, horrible,
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah,
What about for
it's
you?
true. And it's not even funny.
It's
It feels out
not.
of place.
It
It's
feels
just
so out of
it's
place.
weird. It's like it feels like if Saturday Night Live was doing a Lin-Manuel parody, they would write that
That's
song.
what I would do. That's really a good point. And you know, Scuttle also is horribly animated, I think, too.
Oh
And
yeah. What
and
are
it's
they
like this
thinking?
crazy bird in a room is what it felt
Yeah.
like, you know, like this, you know, like a wild bird is in there going crazy. Like, you know,
Yeah.
oh, this the whole thing. It's just like, I
What
don't know.
were they thinking with that? It was
I so bad.
so bizarre. The animation of the characters was atrocious in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
bad.
so bad.
And then the changes. Oh, and we also only included the most iconic version of the song. So obviously we
Right.
don't have like Poor Unfortunate Souls in the remake. You know, we have it in the original. And
Right. And in
but
the
like
Broadway
the
show.
yeah, exactly. So the changes they made to it though were ridiculous. Like one of the weird things about these remakes is that they're actively and this is I think also proof that these remakes are not made for children. They're absolutely not. They're made for adults who are nostalgic about about animated films, and Disney has trained these adults, millennials like me. Disney has trained them to believe that animation is for kids. So therefore they oh, this is live action, and which is just really frustrating. But they're not made for kids. Even if Disney says they're not, it's a lie. They're made for nostalgic adults. And one of the things that you can tell is that almost every instance, they have made the movies more serious. Even at the beginning of the Little Mermaid remake, they have this whole quote of like the tears of the from the original novel, the tears of the mermaid were like bathing the water. I can't remember, but they
Yeah.
have this like, you know,
Yeah.
dramatic quote. And so they go through and they take out almost all the humor, which is then when they have a song like Scuttlebutt, it sticks out even
It's
more.
just so out of place. Yeah. Even
And
more. Yep.
and then in like Poor Unfortunate Souls, they take out anything that was funny. You're like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? She's trying to convince Ariel. Like, this is not Ariel and Ursula. Like, Ursula is not, she's trying to be a woman, whatever,
Yeah.
octopus. And she's trying to convince her. So of course what she says isn't true, isn't real. This is not an accurate portrayal of men. So we don't need to change that. She's trying to convince Ariel to do what she says. So she says all the things. The men don't like a lot of blabber. They think a girl who gossips is a bore. And that's not Disney saying that's the way women are. That's Ursula trying to
Ursula.
That's Ursula trying to convince Ariel to give up her voice. Because
Yeah.
it won't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, so stupid.
So stupid.
Anyway,
Hate it. Hate
but they
it.
do. If you look at them almost without a doubt, they take out the humor of these the original films
Yeah.
and make them more serious. My number 29 is actually where I have Just One Mistake from the prequel.
That's my 28.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did I say
Yeah.
29? Sorry, 28.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. So your
Yeah.
29 is the
So 29
Scuttlebutt
is
too.
Scuttlebutt. 20
And-
my 28 is Just One Mistake.
So is mine.
Okay. Because it's not even really, it's
Ugh.
barely a song. And
Yeah.
they have Sally Field doing this voice. Like, seems like I don't know, maybe she can't sing. I don't know, but it just seems like such a weird song. She doesn't really actually sing the song. It's like talk sing.
Yeah, it's so weird. And that's just that whole the whole scene is so weird. You know, the manatee or whatever that creature
That's
is
so weird.
that's doing her nails or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, what is this about? And then
The villain is the big, you don't even need a villain. Like in that movie, you really didn't need a villain because the villain is Triton. It's a Footloose story. You don't need an additional villain.
yeah.
The villain is Triton, who's not allowing music.
Oh.
I don't have to explain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like so much of these things should be like self-evident. I'm like, what? But
uh,
yeah, so we have the same. So what do you have at 27?
at 27, I have Positivity.
Okay, I
From
don't have
Broad.
that much higher, but
I again, I don't remember. As we were corresponding about this, Rach. See, it was 10 plus years ago.
so
When I
long
saw the
ago, yeah.
show, the stage production, and I don't remember any of the new songs. And so I've re-listened to the
Uh,
Broadway soundtrack a couple of times, and I just found their portrayal of Scuttle super annoying.
yeah.
In the I guess at least on the original Broadway cast recording, and but I'm thinking, dang, I wish I had seen that Bluffdale production because that sounds adorable.
It was really cute. Well, so I have at 27, I have Tip and Dash from Little Mermaid
Yeah,
2.
yeah.
So this is she asked the two it's a penguin and a um I, I can't
Is
remember,
it
but
like a sea
sea
lion?
yeah,
What
something
is
like sea
it?
lion
Yeah.
for help. And it's just not a great song. I have all of the Little Mermaid 2 songs are almost all pretty
Uh-huh.
low.
They're all
Pretty
together. They're
low.
all together. See,
All
because I have
four.
I have Tip and Dash at 26.
Okay. Yeah. 26 is where I have Sweet Child. This is from the
Oh,
Broadway
yeah.
Flotsam and Jetsam.
Yeah.
It's just it is maybe a little bit of an interstitial. It's not like, but I
It's
think it's
really
enough of a song. Yeah,
short,
it's pretty short.
but it is enough of a song. Yeah.
Yeah. So then at 25, I have Here on the Land and Sea. Uh, this is at the very ending of Little Mermaid 2,
Yeah.
when they break down the wall, the barrier between
Oh
the
my
castle
gosh.
and the ocean.
Because I had, for Little Mermaid 2, Rachel, I watched those YouTube links,
Oh, yeah.
that you kindly sent to me. But then I was reminded, oh gosh, this is in this, this horrible movie. Oh my goodness, it's so dumb.
Yeah. So would you have it 25?
So at 25, so 26, I have Tip and Dash. 25, I have Here on the Land and the Sea.
Oh, you have the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 24, I have Down to the Sea.
Yeah,
This is at the very
same.
beginning of the movie. Little Mermaid 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
you
bad.
have that at 24.
I have that at 24, and then at 23, I have For a Moment, also from Little Mermaid 2.
I have
They're
For
all
a Moment at 21,
okay.
only really because Jodie Benson.
That
Sing.
was hard for me, Rachel, to rank these Jodie Benson song, the songs that she's singing low because I adore her. And
Yeah.
she's doing the best she can with what she's given.
Yeah.
And she just feels like she's such a team player,
Yeah.
But
Like it's an oak.
oh
It's like it's like a generic, like, I want song, I guess. But yeah, I have it at 21. I have at 23 is where I have Positivity. So
okay.
what do you have at 23?
At 23, I have For a Moment, The Little
Oh,
Mermaid
right,
2.
right.
So all
Okay.
the Little
Yeah.
Mermaid 2 songs are all
Yeah.
together for me.
It's really bad. It's one of the worst of all of the cheap holes.
I think I might have put For a Moment a little higher for the Jodie Benson adjusted scale.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I watched the YouTube video, so I saw the animation. Like,
Yeah.
I hate this so much.
Yeah.
Because it was so. Oh, no, everything about it's
Yeah.
horrible. Yeah.
Well, 22, I have One Step Closer, which is from the Broadway musical. They're just like dancing, like Eric and Ariel. It's fine, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't,
Pretty forgettable.
I had kind of an issue with it. Most of the Broadway ones are grouped together, frankly, for me. Some
Yeah.
of those were a little tricky for me to
Yeah.
rank, you know what I mean? To kind of rank. I tried, but I have that a little higher, but not necessarily because I liked it more.
Yeah.
It's just kind of where it ended up.
Yeah. So what do you have at 22?
At 22, I have I Will Sing from the
Okay.
prequel.
Yes. So that's at the end when everyone's celebrating.
Oh,
I have that at 20.
okay.
That much higher.
I have three, the final three from the prequel altogether here too.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast. My name is BJ.
And my name is Me Too, and we promise this promo is worth it, so please don't skip ahead.
We're two judgy friends who put our judgmental skills to work for you. We review the pilot episodes of new and popular shows and shows that our listeners request to answer your question, should I watch this?
Look, a lot of us are spending a lot more time at home, and yes, we should be reading and trying new projects and enriching ourselves, but does anything beat binging a great show?
Let us take the guesswork out of deciding what your next show will be. Tune in to The Pilot Podcast at thepilotpodcast.com.
Moment at 21, I will sing at 20. And so let's see, where are you at?
So at 22, I have I Will Sing. 21, I have I Remember from the prequel. And then 20, I have Jump in Line from the prequel.
So
Again,
I have I Remember like ridiculously high because I actually think it's a pretty song, and it's Jodie Benson.
Well, it's Jodie Benson, Rach, and just the same thing. That was hard. I feel bad putting it down so low, but I just thought the quality of the songwriting, in my opinion, was so bad.
Really?
Even though Jodie Benson again just gives a
Actually,
very solid performance.
Yeah, I actually think it's a pretty song, but yeah, it's an imperfect film, so that's for sure. Yeah, I do have that surprisingly high.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so that's your 20.
So my 20 through 22. So 20 is Jump in Line. 21 is I Remember. 22 is I Will Sing. All again from the prequel. What do you have?
I have I Will Sing at 20.
Okay.
And then at 19, I have The World Above from Broadway.
Okay.
This is where she first sees Eric.
Yes. I have it a little higher because I cheated a little bit, Rachel, because I actually quite love the reprise. From the original Broadway cast recording, because I think I really like Norm Lewis a lot, and I think that he was I thought the singing was great, so it made it. I ranked it higher, but really just because of the reprise. I know that we weren't necessarily including that, but
yeah, that makes sense.
But that's why I have it a little higher. But again, these songs here, kind of in the middle, they're from the Broadway show. For me, almost again, they were almost all equal.
Yeah,
I have a couple that are higher, but they're I mean, again, I saw the show 10 years ago, but I forgot everything.
It doesn't improve upon recent viewings, trust me.
Okay. Okay. I never wanted to see the show again. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I have a bunch of Broadway in a bunch here. I have The World Above at 19.
Okay.
And then Human Stuff at 18.
Yeah, I have Human Stuff at 18 too.
Yeah. And then Beyond My Wildest Dreams at 17.
Okay. Yeah, again, I have those a little higher, but again, I just felt these were all just kind of the same, in so many ways. So I have Sweet Child at 19, Human Stuff at 18. I Want the Good Times Back at 17, which I almost put a little higher, but again, it's just kind of in there. Sherry Renee Scott, I think, does a good job with that number. I did somewhat enjoy listening to it on this with the cast recording.
Which one?
Is it Sherry? What's I Want the Good Times Back?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a catchy little tune.
Yeah.
Yeah. We debated about including that because
it's been cut from the show, right?
Yeah. I saw it on the Broadway cast recording. I was like, what is that song? And because I've seen the show many, many times, but I've never heard that song before. And
who can't remember anything from this stage play.
And it turns out that I guess it was in the Broadway show, but then when they got it set up for national tour, they switched it out for Daddy's Little Angels.
Interesting.
So that's why we have both of those on here, but that's what I've heard. So that was interesting. Let's see, where am I? So Beyond My Wildest Dreams at 17. And then I have Daughters of Triton at 16. That's the first of the original.
Yeah, I have that at 10, but it was hard I wanted to put it lower. But I just felt it's better than anything from the Broadway show, but it's still not very good.
It's like it's fine. It like does what you need it to do at that moment in the
job,
story.
but it's not particularly listenable, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it absolutely does the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you have at 16?
At 16, I have She's in Love.
Mhm.
And that's a really fun little ditty. I quite like it, you know, but I also feel like it's really derivative from that They Don't Say I'm in Love from Hercules. I feel like it's incredibly derivative, and it's kind of surprising to me in a lot of ways because, you know, Alan Menken. But anyway.
Well, I mean, Alan Menken knows how to do derivative if he's given the chance.
Absolutely.
Have you ever seen his Christmas Carol?
No. If I have, I haven't seen. It's the one that they play at Radio City Music Hall in New York. I can't or is
no, that's the Rockette Spectacular. But so his Christmas Carol, and it might have Glenn Slater. I can't remember. But it is so like basically they like took Beauty and the Beast and they like put it through a Christmas Carol.
Oh dear.
Factory. Put a Christmas Carol skin on it. There's a song about home. There's a song where they're walking through the streets and everybody's commenting about Scrooge. There's and then there's like a really bizarre number where all of a sudden they've got like a kick line and there's like the toys come alive and it's like, what is happening?
Oh dear.
There's that, and that's like a very like Be Our Guest rip off. You know, it's like it's bad.
This sounds really bad.
It's really bad. And I mean, I don't think that the musical versions of Christmas Carol have both been bad. There's the one that's the Albert Finney inspired, which is better than this. At least you have like thank you very much and stuff, but like it's still pretty bad. And then so I'm like, I always tell people, I'm like, just go to like a play, don't go to the musical,
don't see a musical version of it,
play of Christmas Carol, because this, I mean, it feels like with that Alan Menken Christmas Carol that he like put about maybe a week of hard work in there.
Oh wow.
Like,
did he get a pro shot, Rach? Is there did you
there is with Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, okay.
Kelsey Grammer and the guy from Rent. I mean, and I think is Angela Lansbury in that? Maybe I can't remember. But anyway, it's got like a guess. It's a it's not a pro shot, but it's a like TV movie.
Okay.
TV movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've managed to avoid it all these years. I guess I'll continue.
Yeah. Good choices.
Thank you for the
but yeah, so at 16 is where I have Jump in the Line.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is from the prequel. It's at the club. Because like in the story of the prequel, Sebastian's operating this like secret underground salsa club. Because it's Footloose and Under the Water.
It's Footloose underwater.
Yeah. And so that's one of the songs when she goes and sees them Jump in Line. And it was hard to know how to rank it because it's like Harry Belafonte.
It's a Harry Belafonte song, and they're just doing this cover of it. And it's short.
Yeah.
But still, yeah.
I mean, and Samuel Wright always crushes it when he ever is Sebastian. So.
See, exactly. Against Samuel Wright and Jodie Benson, you know, they're so good. So I feel badly ranking these lower, but I just feel like the songs are so bad or just so much worse than the Broadway show, even though the Broadway songs aren't good.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So what do you have at 16?
At 16, I have She's in Love.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
15 is where I have For the First Time. This is in the 2023 movie when she's getting all dressed up, getting ready to meet Eric for the first time. It's fine, but just where, you know.
Yeah, I have that a little higher, which we'll get to, but that was kind of a struggle for me because I think I like the song, and probably it's because of Halle Bailey.
Yeah.
She just sings it so well. It's not necessarily the best
Mhm.
song, but I don't know. To me, it just seemed
Yeah.
like better than any of the songs
Yeah.
from the Broadway.
That remake, that was not costume designer calling out its finest hour. Like, I don't know what she was
No,
thinking with
no,
those dresses and those just, they were really strange, I thought.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really not flattering for Hallie.
No,
Just
no.
bizarre. With bizarre
Yeah.
choices. Um, okay, so what do you have next?
So 15, I have Her Voice. 14, I have One Step Closer. Again, from the Broadway show.
One step closer. I had that at 22. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you had that
Um,
lower.
so I have I want the good times back at 13.
Okay, yeah.
It's a pretty catchy little
It's
tune.
pretty catchy, and
Yeah.
again, it's a great interpretation, I think. By I'm saying, isn't it Sherry Renee
Sherry Renee
Scott?
Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I love her.
yeah. Oh, she's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Have you ever seen or listened to the Aida soundtrack?
Yes,
Oh,
I saw
so
her in
good.
Aida.
You did?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, she was
so
amazing.
good. Strongest suit. And she's also on the Broadway cast of Hercules. I'm not Hercules, I'm Tarzan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she plays the mom.
Oh, wow.
Well, I forget her name, but yeah, the
Yeah.
mom ape. And she just did a little, she hadn't been on Broadway for a long time, and she just did a little shop.
That's right.
Yeah, which
I
is would have been
read
really
that, which
cool
would have
to
been
see.
so fun to see her.
Yeah. So she's awesome. Okay, and I love the last 5 years. She's on that soundtrack. I mean, cast recording.
Okay.
So did you have
Nice.
14?
Yeah. So 14 is One Step Closer for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
13 is where I have Les Poissons. This was hard to know where to rank this. I think it's a fun song. It's silly. It's very silly, but I like a little silliness sometimes. But I don't know. That's where I had it at
Yeah. No, that's right. I have it a
11
lot. I have it a bit higher,
or
but
12.
it's silly. It's just kind of pure fun and great little
Yeah.
comic relief I think in the animated film for
Uh,
sure.
my brother did this study abroad thing, this intensive unit, whatever, in France when he was in college. And I remember because he like when everyone would mention Little Mermaid, he'd be like, oh, because I would watch it so much and he would be annoyed by it. And and that he was in this group. There were mostly women in this school group, and the word Les Poissons got, and all of the women like started singing the song Les Poissons, Les Poissons. And he looked at the teacher and he was like, are you hearing this happening?
I love that.
Just so funny.
All these Little Mermaid fans, right? And he's just rolling his eyes.
Yes.
I'd be singing with them because I love the song.
So what do you have at 12?
I have Beyond My Wildest Dreams.
Oh, right. Okay, Broadway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Broadway.
Yeah. At number 11 is where I have Daddy's Little Angel.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's the Ursula song that is in the version I've seen. And it's fun.
Yeah,
It's okay.
it is. It's okay. And
Yeah.
I have The World Above at 11 because I mentioned, and again because I kind of cheated because I really love the reprise with Norm
Oh,
Lewis,
yeah.
with the Norm Lewis from the original Broadway cast. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'd like it, in another setting. And as I recall, the show I saw, again, what little I remember of it, again, I remember thinking Ariel was great because again, I know her. She's
Yeah.
my good friend is married to her, but I think the rest of the cast wasn't as good. I
Mhm.
just thinking that remembering like, oh yeah, the voices were not that great. Also
Yeah.
compared to the Broadway cast recording, which is they've got A-list talent,
Sierra Burgess. Yeah, she's really good
She's very
for
good.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I have a double header of Eric songs. I have at 10, I have Her Voice from Broadway, and
Yes.
then I have Wild Uncharted Waters at 9
Oh, nice. Okay.
from 2023 because I just fell in love with that Eric. He was so dreamy to me, and it was like a serviceable song, so it all worked together. So it was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I'm
Evidently, you get
Wild
in the
Uncharted.
top 10 if you get Eric singing.
That's fantastic. I have Wild Uncharted Waters a little higher.
Uh,
It's one of my favorite things
yeah.
from the 2023 remake. I think it's a beautiful song and beautifully filmed.
Yeah. And yeah, Jonah Hire King, he was really good to me. I really thought he was dreamy.
Yeah.
So and had good, like I said, good chemistry. So yeah, that's where I have for 10 and 9. What's your
Okay.
10 and 9?
So 10, I have Daughters of Trident. Again, it's not necessarily favorite. I think again, it's memorable because it's serviceable. Services the plot, but
Yeah.
and I would put it lower, but I still think it's better than most of the Broadway songs. So anyway, it's
Yeah.
I have a 10, and then at 9, I have For the First Time, which again I was quite taken with on this re-listen. I quite liked it, and I think I attribute that a lot to Hallie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I have.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
Well, number 8 is where I remember. I actually think it's a pretty song. I love Jodie's singing of it, and so that's where I have it at 8.
See, and at 8, I have a surprise. For me, it was surprising that it's so high, but the only song that I don't necessarily remember it from the play, but I remember it after I had listened to the soundtrack, many years ago, or the original Broadway cast recording years ago. It's If Only.
Yeah. I have that at 7.
I think that's a lovely, again, the voices are just so beautiful, and I think the sentiment's lovely. I have a high. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it at 7.
Okay.
So,
you do? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you like it too. It's really, I think it's a knockout.
Well, and it's nice because it's a quartet.
It's a quartet.
You have all 4 of you've got Eric, Ariel, Sebastian, and Triton all singing, and their harmonies are nice. And so it makes for a nice little song.
You know that I'm a real opera nut, and there's nothing better in an opera than a gorgeous quartet. And I think that this just reminded me of that, just these 4 wonderful voices.
Yeah.
Singing so nicely together with such lovely harmony. It just really worked for me. Great.
Yeah.
Best show or best song from that mediocre Broadway show. For sure.
Well, actually, I have at 6. I have She's in Love that's my favorite of the Broadway show.
Oh no, I'm yeah, it's so catchy. I hate to kind of be a jerk about that, but just because I just felt like I was that it was Hercules called and I wants the song back.
I didn't even think of that, but I can see it. I can see that. Yeah.
What do you like about it?
It's kind of fun to get to know the sisters a little bit better because I always liked them, their design in the original film, but we didn't really get to know them at all. And I like their names. And it's just it's like a fun sequence. So it's like, that you get to see some of the character of the sisters.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's what I like about it. But yeah. So that's where I have it. And then I have
fun.
all the rest. My top 5 are all 1989.
Yeah, same for me. It's the top 6 for me are all from the 1989.
Yeah.
film.
So which do you have at 6?
So 6 I have Liposwan.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, because I just think it's so endlessly clever. I just remember just falling out of my seat laughing. It's because how funny it was.
Still makes me laugh.
And again, how clever it was. And I just thought, wow, what a fresh thing to put into a Disney fairy tale,
Yeah,
it's really funny.
Ho ho ho!
Yeah.
And a chop and a serve, little fish. Yeah, yeah.
Because you're dead.
You're certainly lucky you are. It's ridiculous.
It's gonna be hot in my big silver pot.
That was a nice thing about the Disney Renaissance is they sometimes would allow a little bit of madcap sensibility, like in Rescuers Down Under, the whole medical experiment, like crazy mice with a
crazy.
horrible.
That's so funny.
So funny. I like that kind of
humor
when it's done right.
Yep, agreed.
So it's 6 I have Fathoms Below.
Okay.
I
love that a 5.
Okay. I love that. I'm sorry, 5. That's where I have. Sorry.
Oh,
5.
you have Fathoms Below at 5. Okay. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
It gets my spreadsheet one side because I have the header.
Right.
So 5. Yeah. 5. I have Fathoms Below. And I love the introduction. And it's such a good sea shanty.
I love it so much.
And such a good way to the animation's incredible, but to get you into the moment so well.
The music is so fantastic, and just that great, all the sailors singing it, and with it is a perfect way to introduce that film.
Yeah.
And great. Love it.
So
all these songs I love. I mean, it's how we rank, because I think clearly we've got the same songs. It'll just be interesting to see the order we have them in.
So 4, I have Kiss the Girl.
So do I.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. It's so fun.
It is so adorable. Of course I always have to ride the Little Mermaid ride when I go to Disneyland. And it's over in California Adventure. And I mean, I love it all, but one of my favorite little segments, I mean, the Under the Sea sequence is fantastic.
Yeah.
Every little scene of that ride, I think is adorable. But the Kiss the Girl, they really capture it. I mean, it's like, that's what it looked like,
some good animatronics in that ride. And it's nice because it's I forget what they call it, but it's like continually going. Omni-mover, yeah. And so it makes the load and unload really fast.
Yeah.
And so that's why there's almost never a line.
There's never a line. Yeah. They can just it's a people eater, and it's so great.
That's why Peter Pan is so long, is because only 2 people can fit in each one of those boats, and they're slow to load.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but it's a good attraction. I enjoy it too.
And I love this sequence in the film, and I love the song, and it's so good. So good.
And the changes they made were so stupid in the remake. So dumb.
Oh, it's so dumb. I was like,
There you see her. Looking there across the ray. So good. So and what do you have at 3?
So this was tricky between 2 and 3. At 3, I have Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Same.
It's one of the best. Pat Carroll, so brilliant. The animation is so fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, Flotsam Jetsam. Now I've got her, boys. The boss is on a roll. Yeah, it was such a brilliant choice that they made for Pat Carroll to sing it this way and give it this gravelly texture to it and make her feel like this like cheap saleswoman that she is.
Yep.
Yeah. Life's full of tough choices.
Isn't
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing, and just think of the way they animate her, like she's playing herself as the victim, and oh, it's just it's magic. It's so great.
And it's so cool if you watch the Howard documentary on Disney Plus, which you should all do. They have all this footage of Howard Ashman like literally dressing up for the animators.
Yeah,
like,
acting it out.
Acting out Ursula, acting out the So
it's so cool.
And that's why he had a story credit in the movie. Like usually lyricists don't get a full story credit.
Yeah.
So
again, why I think that if sadly, I mean, imagine the work that he could have continued to do on here, on Earth.
Yeah.
But he I just again thinking such a bummer when the stage play sucks so much, because imagine what he could have done with it.
Yeah. Well, and then in the documentary, they also show him working with Jodie, which is really just so cool.
Oh, wow.
And her talking about that experience. And then there's also all of this footage of the different people doing Beauty and the Beast, and of course he was really frail at that point, but it's really cool, and what a genius he was.
Absolute genius. And that's a very fine documentary. Yeah, I'm with you. Highly recommended for any everybody should watch it.
Well, I bet we do have the same top 5 then.
I bet we did too. What's your number 2, Rach?
Under the Sea.
Under the Sea. Same here.
Yeah. And it's so good. And the fact that they made every single fish a sea creature a different instrument. So by the end, you have this calypso orchestra basically all playing is so brilliant, and each one is like a slightly different color. And of course in The Little Mermaid they animated a million bubbles, so everywhere there's just like texture and light, and it's just makes everything, the attention to detail in this is just really special, and it just makes for this song to like come alive.
It's such a fun song. I mean, you hear those opening notes, on whatever instrument they're playing, to give it that whole kind of calypso feel. And
and it's interesting because now I feel like Disney is like obsessed with canon. Everything has to be canon. Everything has to make sense. Everything has to, and even on rides, like so stupid that if for Tiana's the Tiana ride, it's like it's got to be canon, because it would have made so much sense to have had Dr. Facilier at the point of the drop saying, "Are you ready?" Right from the movie, but you can't do that because it's got to be canon. It's so stupid. And I feel like now Disney would be like, well, we can't have a Jamaican crab and a British, Grimsby, and a New Yorker, New Jersey talking Scully, and they would get like all upset about stuff like that. But they just didn't care for this. They just went for it and made it fun. And I feel like that's something that has kind of been lost.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, Part of Your World.
Part
it's
of
hard
Your
to
World.
not pick that.
Best song, one of the best songs ever.
I was just gonna say, I think you could make an argument this is the best Disney song.
Yep.
Ever.
Yeah, it's definitely like top 5 for sure. Yep. Yeah. And again, Jodie Benson kills it.
Yeah.
And the animation is Glenn Keane and everybody who worked on that sequence just killed it. It's just nothing's better, really. And
you just feel like such a longing for the character and for her. And you think that she sings this before she's even seen Eric. She's never seen him. So
there are so many shots in that sequence that I love. How she swims around and and a lot of like Ready to Stand, and I mean all the different things,
Reaching up into that light,
reaching into the light, and then also just the kind of the fun little comedy that they've got thrown in there with Sebastian, right?
Yeah.
It's such a delight. Well, yeah, I'm with you. Just one of the best Disney songs ever, and just such a fantastic song.
Yeah.
One of the best I Want songs too ever.
I think maybe we should do an episode of our favorite Disney songs ever, but I think that it would either be When You Wish Upon a Star, Part of Your World. I think that's got to be your top two.
Yeah, well, and I'd throw in A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes. That would probably be my number two, and
Once
then
Upon a Dream,
and this would be number three. But it would be hard.
It would be a tough call between.
It would be a tough call. Definitely When You Wish Upon a Star for me is number one.
Yeah, it's kind of the theme song of Disney, so
yeah,
that would probably be number one.
But that would be fun.
Yeah, if you all want that, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. I'm in. If your wonderful listeners are into it as well.
So I asked on Twitter what people said.
Speaking of your wonderful listeners, your wonderful fans and followers.
Yeah. So Caroline Charles says Kiss the Girl is the best. Not sure on the worst. Kevin the Critic says that my best song is this, but is Part of Your World. But I agree with your worst, which I had Scuttlebutt on there. Part of Your World is my favorite Disney song, period. So I'm admittedly biased.
Yep.
Jacob, he says, worst song is Scuttlebutt, and anyone who says otherwise is lying. Allison Lewis agrees because I had I had Under the Sea, and in the example, I had Under the Sea and Scuttlebutt. So those are her picks. Ashley
We're
Strong,
not alone.
yeah. Ashley Strong says best is Kiss the Girl and worst is Positivity from Broadway.
Okay.
Which I get it. I really do.
Yep.
So that is what everybody
fine.
had to say. But let us know what you think and what you think of this franchise. And maybe you're not as hard on the sequels as in prequel as we are. Put in the comments what you think. I do have reviews of all of those on the channel. I reviewed when I was doing the Disney Canon individual reviews. I did review a couple of the cheapquels, Cinderella 3, which I like, and Cinderella 2, which is an abomination, and then I reviewed the Little Mermaid one, so that's in there, so you check it out. And I think that covers everything. Let us know what you think. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. And if you're listening on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Put in our playlist with all of our Talking Disney episodes. We have like 110, or close to at this point. And Stanford, where can people find you?
I've got a movie podcast. You can find me at moviespastandpresent.com. And I'm also just on Movies Past and Present, where you can find wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. And you can also follow us at Disney Talking on Twitter. And we have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support everything we're doing. And you can be a part of watch-alongs and other patron events and get bonus episodes. So check that out. And then we have our merch store, #Animation Junkie shirts, and more fun stuff. Take a look at that. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.